Hello everyone and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Voris. If there's one thing the scandal at the U.S. Bishops' Conference shows, it's that the Church in America should never become too closely aligned with any particular party. The Bishops' Conference now finds itself in the rather uncomfortable position of having to fend off charges that it's not much else than a mouthpiece for the Democratic Party agenda. You know, it's a situation, however, of its own doing. You see, for decades, the conference has hired and promoted loyal Democrats to the virtual exclusion of Republicans. They regularly consult with Democrats who wield varying degrees of clout within the party. They have Democratic advisors on their committees and subcommittees. They give millions of dollars to groups who promote the Democratic Party agenda. This isn't good, not because the money should go to Republicans and their surrogates. Instead, the Republican Party, as we all know, collides with Catholic Church teaching in many areas as well. The point is, for the past 30-plus years, the people who run the Bishops' Conference have gotten in so tight with the Democratic Party that a faithful Catholic sort of has to do a double take at any document the conference produces. It's simply unreasonable to not suspect that any counsel from the Bishops' Conference on issues like immigration and health care reform, for example, haven't been heavily influenced by Democratic operatives who have virtually unlimited access to the Bishops' Conference. This damages the Church tremendously. This harms the message of the Church much more than revealing the truth of all this ugliness. And when almost anyone of any significance at the Bishops' Conference, and we're talking about the lay staffers, is a dyed-in-the-wool Democrat, what are Catholics who don't identify as Democrats supposed to think? Can those Catholics really trust that when the Church teachings are being quoted to support federal legislation, that those teachings aren't being selectively quoted and cherry-picked to advance the Democrats' agenda? And even greater harm is done to the Church when millions of Catholics are scandalized by the continued reception of Holy Communion by pro-abortion Catholic politicians. Now, since virtually every one of these politicians is a Democrat, it's only natural for the question to arise in people's minds if these politicians are being given a pass because they belong to the same party that the Bishops' Conference has so closely aligned itself with. These sorts of questions in the political realm do great harm to the faithful because they undermine the veracity of the Church's teachings. How can anyone, either looking at the Church as a possible home or as who is already a Catholic of perhaps weaker faith, look at these continuing, seemingly never-ending issues and conclude that the Church is serious about her teachings? For example, if the Church really believes in the sacredness of life as a matter of dogma, then why give money to groups who fight against that? If the Church really believes that the Eucharist is the body, blood, soul, and divinity of Jesus Christ really, truly, and substantially present under the appearance of bread and wine, then why give it to people who, quote, obstinately persevere in manifest grave sin, end quote, in defiance of canon law? See, this is the problem. When the lay staff at the Bishops' Conference has aligned the conference so closely with one political party, the moral voice of the bishops themselves is undercut. Already there exists an understanding in political circles that the Bishops' Conference is little else than the mouthpiece for the Democrats. This understanding has earned the Bishops' Conference such nicknames as the Democratic Party at Prayer or Democrats in Robes. One very notable Catholic, William Simon, former U.S. Treasury Secretary, said that the CCHD office at the Bishops' Conference should change its name from the Catholic Campaign for Human Development to the Catholic Campaign for Helping Democrats. So when millions of Catholics are deciding to vote, for example, and they turn to the Bishops' Conference for guidance, they immediately become suspect when the document Faithful Citizenship is published and seems to tacitly endorse the Democratic agenda. See, no matter how you cut it, church and state issues are inevitably bound up because they share the common ground of morality. For the Bishops' Conference to be hijacked by lay staffers who are Democratic Party loyalists does immeasurable harm to the Church because the average Catholic simply can't know with any great certitude if what's coming out of the conference is truly representative of Catholic teaching or Catholic teaching put through the Democratic spin cycle. I'm Michael Voris.
Please help us keep delivering these kinds of messages that so desperately need to be heard and acted on. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber. Become immersed in the faith established by Jesus Christ. The Catholic Church is the only hope against evil because that is its God-given mission. As our Lord said, apart from me, you can do nothing. Join RealCatholicTV.com today as a premium subscriber and come to learn and love Christ more deeply.